Hey everybody, Hector here. Got Angela over there. I have a special guest with us today, Juan. He is one of us. We're gonna hop into talking about this, and he'll give us some of his background and whatnot as we go through this podcast today. But want to talk about a new development here in San Antonio that happened over the last 24 to 48 hours with the Scrabble people. Um,
Scrabble people.
Yes, I got tired of the alphabet soup community, so we're moving on to Scrabble. There's more letters there. But yeah, so the crosswalk is going away, officially going away, but they bloviated, bitched and whined so much that they are now getting sidewalk.
But
Thoughts?
at what cost?
Want to talk about that one?
So costs apparently $170,000 costs.
But they're gonna raise all those funds by themselves. It's all privately funded, right?
You'd think so. But somehow they were able to use discretionary funds, kind of bypass city council in a sense to kind of push this all through. I looking at the article on that, they're combining, by the way, in the article, the removal of the crosswalk with the installation of the sidewalks. I want to know specifics. How much is it to actually remove the crosswalks versus the installation? But yeah, apparently city council barely found out about this, according to some people. So everyone's all up in the air of how this is happening.
So we could be looking at, say, $25,000 to remove the crosswalks and 145,000 sidewalk. And we
It's
don't know,
possible.
right? We don't know what's going
We
on
don't.
with that.
If we kind of use numbers back from when they installed the rainbow crosswalk, those two numbers were 19,000 for the paint and allegedly 12,000 for the installation. That was from a TPR report that was on there. Those are the two numbers I've seen floating around. So we take that logic, 12,000 for the reinstallation, a lot less for the paint because you're using only one color. You're not using 6, 7, 8 colors. So it'd be 8 colors with the white and the black on the ends. So I would think it'd probably be closer to the 12,000 maybe range there, but definitely not nowhere close to $170,000.
Do we know if Pride San Antonio is footing any of this bill?
I have found nothing. I've been searching. I've been trying to find anything that of where this money's coming from, and mostly everything is regarding the discretionary funds from the
From the
city.
city. Taxpayer money.
I was supposed to get a call back today. I didn't get one. Uh,
From
I called Public Works and I called Transportation. They told me, okay, with transportation, left a message. I didn't get anything back today. Left the message with Public Works yesterday. They called me back today. They're basically just here's your next assignment. Do this. They have really nothing to do um, with the whole money portion, even though their name is the one that's on the schematic that is going around online right now. Uh, all it shows is the date of December 23rd, 2025. That's all that's on that schematic. Know who designed it, uh, who drew it up. There's just, all that's empty. On the top right corner, we see it. And I'm noticing that District 1 on their Instagram, when they posted the schematic, they cut that part off. It's missing. So that's kind of odd. They're just putting the actual street where it's going to go, but they took off that entire portion on the side where the information should be.
you mean they're keeping facts out of this?
Public facts, right?
No,
But the
they
public
wouldn't
should
do
know.
that, would they? Come
And
on.
also, there was some confusion as well on where it was going to go because online people were saying it's going to be 4 blocks, and actually, Public Works did confirm it's 2 blocks, 4 sections between Laurel, West Laurel, and Park up on Main. So basically, where Pegasus starts,
Hmm.
and then all the way up to the other side of that new gym. There's like a gym now there. You got what?
Right on the other
Icatula, that
side of Icatula, yeah.
yeah. So that where that ends on that side, that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 sections that they're gonna be doing.
So I've been looking around on, of course, social media and all that good stuff, and there's a lot of folks who are not happy about any of this. There was a poll actually on, was it I think KABB.
ABB.
There
Fox
was a
SA,
poll.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a poll on there asking, do you support the the city basically footing the bill for the crosswalk? And I think last I saw was 84% not in support of that, and there was almost 800 people who had voted. How
We're up
scientific it
to
is, who knows? But
we're up to 85. Up to
uh,
85 now.
I
It's
think
going as we're
scientific or
talking.
not, I don't think that people are just on here clicking, no, 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 or yes, yes, yes. I mean, I could see one certain individual in San Antonio sitting there making up a new account for each vote, but he, of course, is the one who's bloviating about all of this. It kind of brings me to my next question. I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this. Y'all are much smarter than I am, so I'll ask the question. Y'all can answer. What's to keep a MAGA group from having a sidewalk? A Nazi group, a fascist group, a Black Lives Matter group, any group that wants anything, what's to keep them from having their own sidewalk? I mean, it's equality, right?
Well, what about just the average person who lives in San Antonio and pays taxes here? What's to keep them from saying, "Hey, I want my own sidewalk"?
Mhm.
And
I want a Right Side Pride podcast sidewalk.
people will be taking dumps on that.
Not much different than what's going to happen down at. Have you seen the clientele down there?
Ugh.
Well, yeah, you always get that bus stop that's right there on the corner in
Hmm.
front of was it Knockout and Sparky's? You always get someone yelling at you for something. I wouldn't be surprised if someone were to do that within the first week of the crosswalk.
Yeah.
And
But it's true. Yeah, you're right. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop anybody else from. Who's to say from what's the southern part of it? That's Park, right? No, that's Laurel. From Laurel all the way to I-35. That whole section there that goes from the park, you go to Purgatory, Luby's. Let's put it on an American flag all the way over there. Wouldn't want to. We don't want to step on the American flag, but just as an example, like Hector, like you said, another Nazi
Or
group or something like that.
well,
Who's
it's
gonna?
it's
or
near
come
Luby's. We could. Well, it's near Luby's
exactly.
flag.
Greg
Don't they
can't.
have a flag?
They
Why
have.
not?
They have. Hey, we raise our fist like this.
Just put words down the sidewalk. Get off my lawn. You know.
No. What about private companies? What if they
Right.
say, "Hey, that's a great advertising idea," which I actually just thought of. I mean, I'm sure someone else has, but I think that's a great idea. Why not?
And then
Vegas,
those
Yeah.
Vegas.
Start
private
mark.
companies,
Start.
the private company, they use their money. So that's
Mhm.
even like, we're not even going to use your taxpayer money. We'll use our own, so they even have more footing to be like, I should do this because you're not paying for it as taxpayer.
We want to lease out XYZ blocks, and
Hmm.
a yearly, it's a good way for the city to make money. I mean, if that's the case, have at it. But the city's not paying for it. My biggest issue, I don't care that the sidewalks are going to be rainbow. I really don't. I
Either.
care that the city's paying for it.
That's what I care
Hmm.
about. I don't believe that it's right for the city to be funding another frivolous thing like the frickin' crosswalk for a special interest group. Why do I, who live on the west side or the south side or the north side or the east side, have to pay for paint and labor to keep it up to this special interest group's private sidewalk?
That's actually a really good point. I was gonna want to chat about a little bit is the fact that sidewalks obviously crack way more frequently than roadways. They're a
Hmm.
lot more uneven, things like that. Who's going to have the upkeep on this as it moves forward a year down the road, 2 years down the road? Like, who's going? Is Pride still going to be doing that,
Responsibility.
or is it a city thing?
City, I'm assuming that in this litigious world that we live in, it would be the city who would be forced to take care of it, up into including someone tripping, falling over a crack in the sidewalk because they scraped their knee or they, broke their funny bone or something.
Because the roads here in the
That's
city,
funny.
the roads here in the city, they're on a 5-year remarking schedule. And the reason I know that is because I've been trying to get certain roads remarked where the lanes are pretty much gone. You can't see that paint. So, one, the fact that there's a lot of restriping that has not been done around the city, that's one point that needs to be done. And then they're able to essentially stripe the entire crosswalk for 2 blocks all of a sudden. That makes no sense. And will that be the same cycle? Will it be every 5 years they go and repaint it? If they're gonna do it, it should be on the same schedule. That's how I see it. I don't see how they should get any additional preference to repaint anything there any sooner than any other road in the entire city.
So I also this morning reached out to sent an email to the mayor, to the city manager, and to the works the department.
Engineering department, traffic
Yeah,
engineering.
one of them. Haven't heard back from anyone, but we'll definitely stay on top of it. This is obviously something that we on this particular podcast have been really adamant about, kind of staying on top of it and getting answers for it. So we'll continue to do that. Definitely want to, thank you for coming on and sharing things. And of course, you're always informative whenever we're, messaging outside of this. And again, we'll stay on top of it. I think that it's going to be some interesting times. I think the city or the citizens of the city are getting pretty fed up with
Mhm.
the superiority of what the alphabet community is wanting. We have equality. They want more than that.
And then that trickles on to us who just want to live our lives without all this extra, was it like unicorn stuff, etc. There was a statement by one of the groups here in San Antonio, the Texas Conservative Liberty Forum, the San Antonio chapter. Fairly new chapter. They formed a couple months ago. They've been doing great work, and yeah, they outright oppose the use of the installation of the crosswalks, the use of the city funds, and quote, public funds should serve the entire city, entire capitalized, not political ideological statements. And that's from the president of the organization.
Good. Good.
Absolutely.
We're not alone in this. There's obviously a lot
Mm-mm.
of people in this city that have, I don't want to say common sense because we're not part of the, um, don't want their tax dollars spent on something like this.
And there's a lot of people too who back it, but they won't speak up because of the Scrabble mafia, pretty much how
Mhm.
they attack people who do not align with their cult agenda.
They don't
I'm an example of that.
F you
Yeah.
and fall
It's
in
I have
line.
all
been
in one.
called every name in the book. You can think of it, every single name in the book. Include the death threats in there as well.
Yeah.
That's how they operate.
We're
That's
all just
exactly how they
self-hating
operate.
gay bigots who have lived privileged lives.
I'm getting sent to a camp. I'm getting deported to Cuba, even though I'm not from Cuba.
Toxic masculinity for, working out. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go be fat phobic in a little bit at the gym.
Because you want to lose because you lose weight, you're a fat phobe.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
85 pounds down and still going, and somehow
That's
that's the problem.
awesome.
Pissed off the chasers.
At the end of the day, though, the best way to beat these people and to ensure that we're not drawn in and part of their cult is just to live by Angela's motto that she signs off with all the time. What's that, Angela?
That is be good humans.